All right,
We are
everyone,
live.
we're live. Technical difficulties, but we're back on. So, kind of ironic. We were talking about how social media connects us all, and then we
Yeah,
go, we
dead on
drop.
the mic.
But yeah, I appreciate you taking your time to be on. So,
No problem, Matt.
really, what I wanted to talk to you about, and just kind of how the listeners also ask questions, and hopefully they can log back on after we fell off. But you know, it's super important, as you're a self-employed guy, you're an entrepreneur. Do you see the same connection kind of as I do in terms of how we're supposed to, just in every level of our life, like just be at the most peak in our mindset, in our fitness, to be able to get to the level that we hope to be in success. So talk a little bit about what you see. You have a lot of clients, you have a lot of people that are, CEO
I
type
have
people.
loads of clients, and what I want to talk about is that they all have bad days, Matt. They all slip up. I was just on with a client who's actually a famous, well-known DJ in America, and he checked in last week, and he said, "Look, Mike, I'll be honest with you. I was killing it Monday to Thursday, and he said Friday and Saturday I fell off, and I just literally threw in the towel." And I couldn't believe this because this is someone who's got quite a huge following on Instagram, and he's a world-renowned DJ, and he's been fat his whole life. He's trying to lose weight, and I couldn't understand because you think people that have them traits of being successful, they're a leader, that they're gonna obviously dictate decisions in life. People want to be them, and yet he couldn't stick to a diet plan. And the funny thing about that is, I said to him, he said it's because it's an unprecedented time. He said my industry right now is stopped completely. I was like, bro, I said, you're older than me, you're more experienced than me. If you're letting um, things that are out of your control dictate your well-being in life and how you stick to a diet, I said, where are you going in life? I said, this is out of your control. If you're spending more time focusing on negative energy about things you can't control, about when are you going to get your next paycheck, and that you only can control is your diet and your health right now, I'd be so focused on that I'd have like less excuses to say you could slip up. And he was like, I know, Mike, I don't know what came over me. I said, like, we've all got 24 hours in a day. We all should wake up with the same mindset. Like, everyone in this whole world should wake up and think, I've got 24 hours in a day to better myself. And when I see people making excuses that they can't stick to a diet just because they're worried that they can't predict what's going to happen in the future, I'm like, that's BS. I said, if you can condone that. I had another female who checked in and was like, Mike, look, due to these unprecedented times, I've binged on chocolate all week. My husband, his business is closed down. I've been drinking wine. And she was like, I'm an emotional eater. And I'm like, well, that's just condoning that. If you're saying I'm a loser my whole life, I'm going to be a loser. I'm like, you can't have that mindset. You really
Yeah,
can't. Like, it boiled my blood, Matt.
I
Like,
feel that. I feel that because I'm exactly that. As we've gotten to know each other, I've told you, food is like my drug.
yeah, correct.
I eat when I'm happy. I eat when I'm sad. So talk about, like, do you? I mean, you speak from, coming from, like, you can understand people that are, starting out or out of shape, because you yourself. That's why you
I've
call
been,
yourself
yeah,
Fat Boy
Fatboy
Slim.
Slim.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
talk
a little
about
bit
that.
obese.
Talk about that journey.
The journey was, Matt, I got to an extent where I was overweight, and basically what had happened was I didn't like myself, and I noticed my whole aggression towards other people, that I felt like I was going out abusing alcohol, abusing fast food, and I never really put my hands up once and said, why am I fat? It's my own self doing. Like, no one force fed me. I was the one who chose to make them decisions. I was the one who chose to drink alcohol. I was the one who chose to, like, not just drink alcohol. I mean, like, go out on Friday, come home on a Monday. I used to abuse alcohol, abuse food. I've got no shame in that, until one day I woke up and ran. It was like, where am I going in my life? Like, I'm out of shape. I'm fat. I'm obese. I've got nothing going for me in life, and I don't like the way I look. And what I learned in life is that if you don't have a body that betrays the real you, you're hidden away the real self, because you're hidden away by a layer of fat. You can't be your real confident, outgoing self. And people like you, I've got loads of clients in real estate. I said to them, how can you close deals when you're not confident in your own self-being? That really, like, you can't walk into a ballroom and portray a big fat stomach and all that. Great, you wear the suit, but at the end of the day, people subconsciously judge you. Studies have shown within 3 seconds of knowing you. Anyone who's fat, subconsciously, people do that. They go, oh, he's lazy. He doesn't want it. Well, how can you, if you were to basically like kind of tie together the word lazy with someone who's a successful entrepreneur who's in real estate, they don't come hand in hand. And nowadays, more than anything, my main clientele base is entrepreneurs like you who are in real estate. And no offense to you, but you all tend to be overweight, Matt, when you come to me. And I'm like, You've built a massive monumental business. You've got loads of properties on your books. And I'm like, how can you apply the same principles? Because you must have hustled hard to get to there where you are. And
Yeah.
what I've learned is the way you do one thing in life is the way you do everything. If you can crush the goal to be successful, to be rich and an entrepreneur, dieting should be a walk in the park, because every decision, as you said, is in your control, Matt. If you follow the blueprint, you follow the plan, you're going to have the body of your dreams.
That's a great point. And I think, you know, we tend to be people that when we focus and lock in on something, you know, we can accomplish it. And then sometimes we almost are too focused on something and at the detriment of our health or our family or our relationship. So, you know, trying to find that, I don't want to call it balance, because there's nothing ever balanced.
I don't like that word. Yeah, I don't like that word.
Yeah, no, it's a priority. It's a priority, right? So is it important enough for you to fit it in and not make excuses? I think is where that dividing line is. So like, at what point do you just look at yourself and you're disgusted? You know, like everyone has a breaking point, right? We can only get to a certain point where, and some unfortunately decide that, you know, there is no turning back, and they don't make that decision. You know, talk to me about, like, you know, when people come to you, what is the biggest roadblock most people have? Is it mental? Is it physical? Is it attitude? I mean, what do you think the biggest thing is that you see?
Situation like this, man. I had a guy, an example, reach out to me, and he was like, Mike, he gave me a good heartfelt email. It was a good 2 pages long. And it was like, Mike, I really need this opportunity. Like, I want you to work with you. I need you to save my life. Like, you know, I'm not going to be on this planet much longer the way I'm going. And I was like, fine, buddy, let's do it. Then what happened? I sent him on a diet plan and all that. He was like, but I'm out on the road some days. Does that mean I have to eat my food cold? And this person had, like, literally spilled his guts out to me, Matt, how much he needed this opportunity. And then he said to me, oh, I can't be eating cold food. I was like, bro, you've just said you've only got like years to live. You want to save your life, and you're there complaining to me you want to eat cold food out of a plastic lunchbox. I'm like, if you want to do something, sacrifice and success comes hand in hand. Like, you know, if your worst problem of the day is eating a cold chicken and rice, bro, you need to, like, if you want to sacrifice that for putting 10 years back in your life, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
That.
I like to say people want the baby, but they don't want the labor.
Yeah, crazy, man, crazy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be hard, right?
Of course. Like, I'm gonna say to you, Matt, where you got to in your life? How many late nights did you have? How many days were you like giving more than the other average person because you wanted to be successful? It's the same as fitness. You got to put in, and like what you put in is what you get back. And the best thing about this is, no matter how much money you invest in what you do, unless you don't put in the work, it's all on your own back. Like, you need to put in the work. You need to put in the workouts. You need to stick to the diet. But why I do have respect for people, and I won't lie, Matt, is that you can be a basketball player, you can be a football, you can be an NBA star, all them. They just have to turn up, you know, one day of the week, play a good game. They can be a bit laxy days on their diet. With this sport, or when you're trying to achieve results, you have to be switched on 24/7. Your wife, your kids can have a bit of chocolate, a bit of cake, and just pass around. And you know, by snacking on that, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And what I say to all my clients is, Matt, we live in a fucked up enough world as it is. Excuse my French, but I'm saying there's terrorism, there's bombings, there's people trying to mess you up. Matt, I bet you could count on your hands. You remember your bad deals. How many people have promised you a deal, it's not happened? How many people have basically just pushed you aside or not lived up to their promise, right? If there's already enough bad people in the world doing that, every time you cheat on your diet, you're basically doing that to yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? If you don't like the way you look, you've got to change that. No, absolutely. And I think, you know, the biggest truth that I didn't want to accept, because I didn't have a problem with getting in the gym and working out, right? Like, that wasn't ever easy. I could get in there and do the workout, but I at the same time, I didn't want to pay attention to the 90% rule, which is 90% more is your diet, right? Yeah. What I thought was like healthy eating turned out to be completely, you know, the opposite of what I thought. Like, you know, was healthy eating,
yeah. And so, you know, what the game changer was I connected with Michael. You know, I saw the results that he was getting his clients. In particular, I saw what you did with Anthony, who I follow on social media, and I kind of, you know, immediately was attracted to his story, right? Real estate guy, very successful, has an Armenian wife, and I'm like, wow, like there's a lot of relatable things here. And he was, very out of shape. Like he was morbidly
big guy.
Yeah.
Obese.
What he looks like
He's
now.
Die at the age of 60, crazy.
Right. And what you helped him with, obviously, he had to put in the work, and I give him all the credit for that. But if you don't have the right plan, if you don't have the right coach, if you don't have the right advice, you could just be spinning your wheels and you get frustrated. And that's what
I've worked with him for like 2 years, and he kept saying to me, this is so easy, because he kept losing weight. Like, he was my biggest ever transformation, 125 pounds in 9 months. I never even thought that was plausible, Matt, right? Because people slip up over the holidays. And he kept saying, Mike, it's so easy. You tell me what to do, I do it. It's a blueprint. It's a blueprint for success. You just follow the plan. That's how you be successful. And he kept saying it to me. I kept going, yeah. And as months went by, I'd bring it up again, he'd reiterate it. And then he's like, it's the same as being successful in business. He goes, you know what you have to do. If you get it done, you will get there, but you don't deviate. We have certain situations that if the why is stronger than the one, we're going to cheat on a diet, or a social event comes up, a wedding, a family event, something, or a monumental moment, a kid's birthday, and you slip up. He never done that once. He was so fixated on that goal. And he was like, Mike, it's the same as business. And then I realized, I'm like, it's right. We all know how to be successful entrepreneurs or make loads of money, but we get lazy. We detour from the plan. Like nowadays, everything's click a button. You can find a date on Tinder. You can order food, click a button. Everything in this world is fast moving. We can't get instant six-pack abs. You have to stick at something. And he was like, I want to do this for 9 months straight and kill it. And he done it in 9 months, and he never deviated from once. But what I will tell you about him is that he's more cutthroat than I am, in terms of once he sets a goal, no family, no one, Matt, got in his way, bro. And I was like, wow, this is a big opener. And he's like, Mike, I'm telling you, if you want to be rich, if you want to be a multimillionaire, you apply the same principles of business. You get so fixated on that. You don't let wives, you don't let kids, you don't let anyone get in the way of your goal. You will get there. Then you let them, look, see what I've achieved? Yes, I did have to put you on the back burner, but I've achieved that goal. He said, if you apply that to anything, and I was like, he's actually right. He's actually right. If you apply that principle to anything in life, but we've got kind of a heart of gold that we're going to put family before our own self-needs or something like that, you know? But he didn't. He just literally zoned in on that goal. Like, and it was the first client I ever had. Yeah, crazy, man.
Yeah, like a Michael Jordan, right?
Yeah.
Like just crazy, like commitment, focus.
Yeah.
Just eyes on the prize, and you don't stop till you get there.
And I've never seen that, man. I've been doing that for 9 years, and people all have holidays or Christmases or certain events, and you slip up, or you give some time back to your family. He didn't. He just literally flicked a switch in his head, and he was like, I'm going to make this happen. No one's going to get in my way. And we use that saying, no one's going to get in my way. And that goal. He literally applied that. And I mean, it was hard for me to see it, because I saw some events he had to miss. He didn't care. Didn't care at all. He was like, this is my goal. I will achieve it. And the proof is in the pudding. He done it, which I was amazed by. I'm not sure if you saw that post. I don't know if you know that guy on social media. Is it Brett Labrada or someone?
Who is it?
Brett Labrada. He's like a entrepreneur who's in real estate. He's always talking about money and all that. You should look him up on Instagram. He put up a post yesterday, which kind of bored my brother a bit. You should watch it. It was like, oh, all you guys in the gym, you think you're jacked. I know he's a very, very rich, wealthy man. He's like a multi-millionaire. And he's like, all these guys in the gym are jacked and all big and strong. And he's like, yeah, I got man boobs. Yeah, I got a belly. But he's like, they might say to me when I'm working out, oh, bro, do you want to put more weight on the bar? He's like, bro, do you want to put more money in your bank? He's like, yeah, so what? He goes, I could get in shape if I wanna. He goes, but they couldn't go away and buy a house for 5 million. I can. And he was saying that. He's saying, if I wanted it, I could do it. Yeah. He said he doesn't want it. He wants to focus on making money. And that was the first time I'd ever seen someone in my life yesterday put a spin on it like that, who's a famous entrepreneur, quite a big follower on social media. And he's like a salesperson. He does courses on sales, and he's quite well known. I'm surprised you don't know him. You probably do know him, but I was probably messing up his name. And he done a big spiel video on it. And he was like, I don't care. He's like, if you can bench 3 plates, 4 plates, I got 5 million in my bank. I can buy a house tomorrow. And I was like, wow, first time I've ever seen someone do that. He's like, I'm proud of the way I look. He's like, why? Because if I get a body, it's not going to help me get more girls. I've got a wife. I've got a wedding. He goes, I don't need to get a body. I'm still closing deals. He said, but if it did affect me closing deals or getting women or anything like that, well, then, yeah, I would do it. He said, I don't need to do that. Yeah,
so it's not important, right? It has to become important for you in order to make that commitment, right?
True, yeah.
It really goes, because there's some, to even get into more specifics, like you're custom, right? So you look at a guy or a girl, for that matter, you work with a lot of females, you can look at someone's physique just through pictures. Because guys, I've been working with Michael now for about 12, 13 weeks in.
Correct.
And it's done through like an app, a WhatsApp. And I just send him pictures, and he just has this ability or gift to like look at my food and know like instantaneously, okay, we need to add this, we need to take this away. I mean, it's like crazy. And I had a bad week and I cheated. He's like, you cheated, right? Like he knew. I'm like, what is, this guy's like a psychic, you know? And so he kicked me in my ass. And then after that point, it kind of like, you know, put me further along and got more, you know, serious about it. It's always a struggle for me. I'm not going to lie. I mean, food is.
But Matt, well, you know, it's a struggle for everyone. I don't think there's anything harder in the world at doing what you're doing right now. Personally, I know I'm doing this for years. There's 9 years, and even when I do it myself when I go into prep, I don't think there's nothing more challenging. Because as I said, 24/7, Matt, you have to be switched on. Like food, we have to eat every day. That's the variable that comes into play. And if we slip up on that diet, we've shot ourselves in the foot. We've set ourselves back. There's nothing as hard as it. As I said, it's not like a footballer. You can cheat on. You can cheat. They can eat what they want, train hard, all that, have a good game. You know, they can have a couple of alcoholic drinks. You know, you can't slip up. You're setting yourself back every time. Don't get me wrong. It's hard to get to the promised land, but once you get there, it's easy to maintain. But to get there, it is soul destroying. You're questioning like, what is life? Am I really doing this? You're gonna have them moments of self doubt. It's called prep brain, and then you've really got to distinguish between discipline. Like, are you disciplined enough that you're going to do everything in your power to set out that goal, even though you're not really believing in yourself anymore? Because self-doubt is normal. We all have self-doubt. So you've got to think, like, really, am I doing this for the right reasons? And then you have family around you go, give up. Oh, you look great. Oh, come on, stop eating that. Come on, come out with us, have a meal. And they try and soften the blow. Not because they don't care about you, want you to achieve the goal, but they see you suffering. And family hates to see you suffer. And they're like, oh, do you really have to do this now? Have a day off. And in reality, if you have a day off, you're just setting yourself back.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. How did you learn so much about, like, is it just experience, trial and error? I mean,
exactly, Matt, I get asked that a lot because, like, now, like, as you can see from my portfolio, I'm leading the way currently now in Europe and America in terms of just specializing in clients like you who can transform in their body. Now, people say it's because I was overweight and I was once upon a time I was morbidly obese. I can relate to you mentally, which is, I think, is a strong aspect that I have over most coaches. But like anything, Matt, people say, what course do you do? What do you do this, all this? I said, you can do all the courses in the world. It's like anything. If you're prepping people day in, day out, I've done probably over 4,000 or 5,000 people I prep, right? If you see bodies, nothing's written in stone. There's no magic formula. What works for one person doesn't work for another. The more time I spend with a client, the more I learn about their body and what foods they can digest, what methods work with them. Like, you can't just say something, oh, right, Matt, he's overweight, he's this age, he's had this training history, right, this is going to work for him. It doesn't go like that. It's all person dependent. Everyone is different. We're all made up of different genetics. Even the biomechanics behind our body are all different. Certain exercises you're going to struggle with injuries. Everyone's range of motion is different. You've got to find out what suits that individual, what works to them. Like, even you, like, halfway through, we said, look, let's try something different. Let's put in peanut butter and, what do you call it, jelly? And we still kept getting results. And you stuck to it. It made you more disciplined to stick to it. And we were getting results. And that was it. Yeah. So again, there's nothing set in stone. It's just the best advice you give to anyone as a coach. The more hours you put in, it's like anyone, a carpenter, a block layer. The more you keep doing that skill over and over and over, and you learn more, you're going to get better. You're going to get better.
I would have to say, like, just anybody watching this that's trying to get, that's important to them to get into shape. They're not happy with where they're at, and they keep working out, and they think they're eating healthy, right?
Healthy, yeah, it's not right. That's hard.
I challenge you to, like, reach out to Michael and have a discussion with him, because he's like introduced some, like, just principles that I wouldn't even know even existed. For example, like, I thought of, like, weighing my food, right? Would be like, that's way crazy, right? But what I learned in the process is, like, it's taught me, like, portions, like portion control, how much is, actual, how many grams is this, how many grams, like, so I'm learning, I'm getting educated on, what's going into my body, how it affects me, what I should, like, what's 2,600 calories look like a day, right? And then I'm paying more attention to that. So not only am I, progressing on in my goal, I'm educating myself on, like, the power of food, right? What it actually does for you, the amount we think is, a healthy amount, and that we're just, like, keep, shoveling in our mouth, and you look up, you're like, damn, I just ingested 4,500 calories. Like, I didn't even realize.
I know, it's crazy.
And so I just never thought about that stuff. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go get a salad. And I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna eat, healthy. And then the reality is, I was just having a
How
lot
many
of.
clients say to me, man, they go, Mike, oh my God, I've been trying to lose weight all my life. You've made me lose more in a couple of weeks. And when I used to diet, I used to just eat salads. I'm like, oh God, that's why you failed. You set yourself up for failure. If you're just eating salads, that's not really a diet. That's a restriction. That's just a rabbit's dinner. But Matt, here's the $1 million question I ask you, because all my clients, I like picking their brains at this. I guarantee you've tried to lose weight many times in your life, yeah? You've tried a diet of some sort.
Oh yeah.
What was this time that made you want it and you succeeded? What made the penny drop? What was the thing that pushed you over the edge? You were like, do you know what? This time I'm going to go for it and I know I'm going to achieve it. You had to have wanted it more, Matt, because there's many testing times I've put upon you and you've got through them. What was the thing that said this time, no more bullshit? I'm going to do it to myself. I'm going to promise it to myself.
Well, because I want to, I talk to people a lot about like becoming the best version of themselves.
Right, okay.
Like, how can I sit here and be full of shit?
The best version. Yeah.
Like that doesn't jive, right? Like if because it's true. I mean, subconsciously people are judging you to buy the
yes.
Guy's telling me to be he's a leader. He's telling me I can achieve goals. He's telling me to go out and do whatever I want. But he's sitting here and his gut is like this big. Like, how does that drive? It doesn't. Like,
it don't. It's bullshit.
I might be the the nicest guy and the most motivating guy, but they're still, you know what? Yeah, but he's not, maximizing every area of his life. And frankly, I just like, okay, I'm tired of being bullshitting myself, right? I'm tired of just saying I'm gonna be a leader and I'm gonna, tell people they can achieve things in life, but I'm over here taking the easy route on my health. And then the fact of the matter is, my dad's already gone. My grandfather, passed away. They had heart problems, cancer. I have 2 small boys. I'm now 41 years old. So I'm like, look, if I don't actually get serious about this now,
it's not going to happen.
It's never going to happen, right? It's never going to happen. And so it was a accumulation of all those things, kind of going on. And, I was letting myself down. I kept letting myself down, and, I didn't take it serious enough. I don't know. I think all of that, right?
Of
course. Kind of came into play, and that's the whole point of like, wanting to have you on. It's because there are people that will watch this that are really successful in life. Like they're really well in business, but they just keep putting it off, their health and their body, what do they call it? Your body perception and how comfortable you are. So, they need help. They're getting the wrong advice. Like I will pay for the right advice. There's a lot of wrong advice out there and a lot of BS. So I wanted to bring you on and give you, just props, because I think what you're doing, A, you know what you're talking about. B, you're a hell of a coach. Like you're consistent. You hold people accountable. You send the plan when you say you will. You're holding me accountable. You're checking in. You could relate. I mean, I think that's what people need for
accountability. Accountability first and foremost. Everyone needs a coach. It's true. Even the best people in the world all have coaches. Even the best sports stars, everyone, they all have a coach to rely on. But the funny thing, Anthony already told me, I was like, Anthony, why are you doing this? You've got a Rolls Royce. You've got 75. He's got a 75 grand Rolex. He's got like over 100 grand bracelet. And he was like, you know why, Mike? He's like, because you can't drive a Rolls Royce into the boardroom. He said it's your body that they look up to. That's what they're buying into. Because when anyone buys something off you or they buy into you, they're looking at you. And then he said, like, would you ever go to a dentist with black teeth? And I was like, no, probably not. Probably not. You probably wouldn't. Like, so they're looking at it. He's like, he can wear his body into the boardroom. He can sign, close deals, all that, make big money moves. He said, the Rolls Royce is parked outside. No one sees a Rolls Royce outside. And I was like, wow, when you put it like that, that's a big opening statement to make. It's true. Like, at the end of the day, your body is everything. You only got one body.
What people think about you, it's more important how you feel about yourself. Right?
True. But Matt, you got successful being fat. Anthony got successful being fat. Do you know? So you can't say that. You can't always say that because you made it. Do you know what I'm saying? He's made it. You know, you made big moves. It was only later on, once you'd made the money, then you thought, you know what, I'll get my health in check. When honestly, personally, this is my understanding. Very rarely do I see a lot of people get to you and Anthony's level who do that whilst keeping up with a good physique. They all tend to do what you do. They get themselves set in life, and then they decide to focus on health. Now, the only difference is between you, Anthony, and some other people is that they might not let them get self-go as much as you and Anthony. They might keep it some bit in check. But most successful people like you two, it's the same thing with all my clients. They tend to make it in life, and then anywhere between 30 or 40, they're like, right, now it's time to focus on my health. The people that I tend to see get their check. Hello?
Yeah, you there? Can you hear me?
Shit.
You
back?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can see you. No.
Crap. Sound's going again.
Can you hear me now?
You have to do it again.
Okay, let's
try.
try.
Is gone. 1 second.
It's fun. What kind of self-service do you guys have in Ireland over there? All right, we're gonna try to bring him back in.